So welcome everybody. We are doing a live stream. We're going to be doing some, what are we going to be doing, Gary? We're going to be doing RAG on Flowise, right?
We are indeed. Well, the idea, I guess, is to, with your assistance, to create an AI model that's going to assist specifically with one particular type of language code. That's what we're trying to do here. And the language code's a bit obscure. It's not one of those main codes we're aware of.
This is going to be very interesting. Have you, by any chance, given a try to the agent flows inside of Flowise?
Yes. Yeah, I did send, I don't know if that went through actually. I did put that in the shared file between us.
Okay, all right. Should we just kick things off?
Sure, let's go.
All right, you want to maybe share your screen? We can see what you have, and then we'll see if to work on your screen or my screen or whatever we want to do.
I probably would suggest work on yours because I have Flowise set up, but I don't have any of the accounts set up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll then set up mine. Just 1 second. To get the sharing done. All right, let's share it.
I'm going to cancel it.
Let me know if you see my screen.
Started presenting.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Is that you? No. Oh, that's me, I think.
No,
right. Hang on. I tell you what, I'm going to move you into the center. There you are. Yeah, brilliant. Flowise.
npx Flowise start. I think it's the command to start it.
I'm just going to shut down some of these excessive. I've got way too much stuff open this morning, so let's just kill those. Right. That's us. I'll tell you what, I'll kill off also VS Code because we shouldn't need that at this stage. So that's gone.
Yeah, we should really need it this stage. Let's see, why is this taking so long to open? PowerShell. Let's run it as administrator. No. Okay, all right, it's running, it's running. No need for this.
I wonder as well, I used Flowise directly via the browser, so I didn't do the system install, which you have here, which is what you're running, which is what the majority of.
It's pretty cool. Every time you run it, it updates, gets the latest version. It keeps all of your information. It's on your computer. If you get a static IP, you can host all of those chat flows that you create and access them from anywhere in the planet. All right, so now it has started listening on port 3000, local host 3000. So this should be it. All right. Let's also, if you can share me maybe in the chat the Drive document that you shared with me, so that we start getting some documents.
Yeah, let me work out how I do that. Let's go and find you. I think I sent all that via Google Drive. There it is, my drive. Okay, there's a file share. So what I need to do is work out how I share with you
the link to the folder.
The link to the. Oh, I can easily do that. Yeah. Oh, what's that? Okay. Let's do that way. That will be easier. So, yeah, Google Drive. Just waiting 1 second. Share this with you. Oh, you already shared. So it's staying here. You're already in. You're connected.
Just send me the link, maybe via the chat.
How do I?
Forget it. I'll do it via.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. I gotcha. Here we go. Where do I share that with you?
Inside of the chat of the in Google in our Google call. But I found it.
You
I
found
found
it?
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
Okay.
If you take a look at my screen.
Ah, happy days. There you go.
All right. So, Flowise JSON files. You mind giving me a overview of what these are?
Sure. So that's basically my attempt
Okay,
at
it's the
trying to put this
extraction.
together. And I would say an attempt to get some basics going. If you go back, I'll just wait for you to drop back in. That's the one. So the co-created code is anything that I've created. I've asked Pro Real-Time support and AI to involve, and that's where we get this mixture of files. So these are all co-files. These are files running the Pro Builder and Pro Backtest language, and that's principally with regards to backtesting a particular indicator, i.e. its performance output.
Are these examples, or do you need to reference all of them?
These are all examples. So this isn't particularly too interesting for us, because this is what I try and this is once I have a code together, I then go and test it via the platform. Okay. So this gives you an insight. But what's more important for us, the AI instructions, the system instructions need to be added to that.
Okay.
Now, what is very interesting here is where are you now? So, yeah, the manuals are all PDFs. So that's all the variations and versions of the code and the way that the platform runs. Pro Builder code, AI instructions we mentioned. We seem to be missing. Where are just looking at my version here. Pro Builder, manuals. Examples, yeah. If you click on examples, so that's the one. These are all types of indicator-related code. The issue with that is that not all the code that's involved in the indicators can be reversed engineered into backtesting. So again, you're going to see a similarity in the way that the code works. So our objective is to teach or train or to guide an AI model so that it understands only this language. And then principally what it should be able to do is that if we give it a template in terms of what we want the backtest to do, the AI model should be able to refer back to particular code. And then based on what we're asking, it can then produce the code as we require it, rather than having us to go through forums and the like. So it's going to give it's going to give a newcomer to the platform a much better start. They're basically going to have themselves a template, which is to backtest an indicator to do such and such and such. If they run it via our AI model, the AI model has been taught or guided, as it is, to specifically use certain code, i.e. variables and functional code, to produce the backtest itself. That's the objective of it. So if I just click back and take you through what else is going on there.
In these instructions, is this the objective of the assistant?
That's principally how I engage the AI at the moment. So the AI gets all 5 files, which is particularly useful via VS Code, the interface there, because I can just put those 5 files there and constantly tell AI that I'm working with, please refer to these files. The only problem with that is that the AI models aren't very good at holding on to that memory, that information. And that again spurs on this requirement to develop
Well,
an AI model which is purely
that doesn't hallucinate.
about it. Yeah, and it does a lot of that because it gets itself very. This is all main models. No matter which model I go to, no matter which one I'm told is the best for coding, whichever I engaged from a whole list of the Chat GTPs to Claude, even Amazon Q and the likes, Black Box. I've been through so many, and they all end up in this hallucination, no matter how much information I give them, which is obviously, not ideal.
All right, cool. So sounds challenging. I think it's going to be fun. There's a bunch of different ways that we can do this. I would say starting off with the easiest way and then working our way up kind of the complexity ladder. So since you have quite a few documents, one approach would be to always put everything inside of the instructions. But let me just kind of take a step back and just show you what I was telling you about yesterday. So I don't know if you just kind of put things a little bit more into context. So you can see my screen, right? We're gonna go into the custom GPTs, and we're gonna create a custom GPT. So these are the instructions maybe that you wanted. So you are this is kind of like how you should work, and in here inside of the instructions we could tell the AI how it should behave. Then we would create kind of a knowledge base. We would upload all of those documents that we just downloaded just right now. I don't know why I can't see all of them. Instructions, and I need the manuals as well, right?
Should be there. Yeah, the manuals should be there because I'm looking at you got Pro Backtest code manuals and you got Pro Builder. Pro Builder is really the foundation language, and then the Pro Backtest code kind of sits on top of that and takes some of the Pro Builder code out, and that's where there's some confusion about the language itself. And I am working with support to try and understand just exactly what this AI model needs to have. But you should have access to both. I'm just waiting to see what else comes up on your screen. Let's have a look.
So I have this is the instructions. I have this.
Yeah, you should have the others are all in the folder. If I check the folder online as well, you do have access, which is interesting. I'm not sure. There you go. Yeah, can you see you got at the top you got Pro Builder code, but if you drop down to number 4, Pro Backtest code manuals, click on that. Down. No, down. Yep.
This one? Okay.
No, that's it.
Okay, let's download this one.
These are the PDFs. What we do want more than anything, I wonder why that's not on there. What's happened there? Do I need to share down the file with you? Where is the glossaries gone? The glossaries seem to have disappeared. Hang on 1 second here. Let me just check and make sure. That is rather strange. What's happening there? No, that's the... you Pro Builder code. You should have that Pro Builder code.
I'm gonna create...
perfect. There we go. Yeah, so in the Pro Builder code manuals, there should be a Perl text folder.
Just give me 1 second. I'm going to Pro Builder manuals, Pro Builder this.
That's the instructions. There you go. So that it's the third down from the top.
Okay, this one, glossary. So
yeah, glossary.
Is this pretty much everything we need?
It is to I'd say there's probably enough information in the glossary. The glossary is quite a sizable file
Okay. Let's take
in the Perl. Yeah, because that's the one that is shared with. So basically what you have there is now this this is where it gets interesting. This is what we call the foundation code, to which the back test can only use so much of. And as I'm finding out, as the more support engages with me, there's only so much code that can be used by the back test. So there are some limitations. But I'd say pretty much what you have there is
should be good.
It should be good.
Okay.
If not, I can easily share more file information. I can fire up VS Code and then make.
Let's start putting together something.
Sure.
And then we'll kind of we'll change it. So let's maybe create the easiest chat. So the easiest would be to create an assistant, like an open AI assistant, but that would be step 2 if this turns out to be not the best solution, because to do the assistant we need an API, we need to create the assistant, we need to go create the vector store. If we do it like this, we're just gonna use everything on our computer more or less. So we're just going to do a RAG system, and to do a RAG system we need to start off with the conversation retrieval chain. So we add...
Yeah, I've got one of those.
Awesome. And then we add a chat model. We can use different chat models. I'll add OpenAI right now, and then depending on the results we can kind of we can change to Anthropic if we think that it could provide better results or something else. So chat OpenAI, I think this is the one. We can add these 2 things. Credentials. Yeah, let's use the weakest one. We can lower the temperature a little bit, not make it hallucinate too much. And then we can add our vector store retriever. Where are we gonna add our data? We're gonna add it inside of our memory, computer memory. So vector store, I think there's something like buffer in memory vector store. All right, we can use this.
Yep, had that as well. Excellent.
And then the embeddings. Embeddings, we're gonna use OpenAI embeddings.
Explain embeddings to me.
So what embeddings does, I'll tell you in just 1 second. Let me just add the correct one. So what embedding does, it takes the document, it takes these documents that we are doing, and based on the approach of splitting that we have decided, converts them into vectors, so that AI can relate the words of the request of the user with these chunks of text.
Understand. Okay.
So
didn't do that.
Embeddings, but we're just going to change this model to this large one, which is better, and use OpenAI. And then we are going to add our documents. So we're going to add the entire folder that I just created. This is for simplicity's sakes. We're just going to do it like this.
So what I could do here is we could use one folder for now and upload multiple files.
Yeah.
But what I could do is I could create multiple folders, or have folders as I shared with you, that are explicit to certain parts of the code and the way I've organized the code. I think I attempted to do that, and I could see that I could upload certain files with certain folders, which made a lot more sense because it made it easier then for me to update the information.
You can do it like that, or you can have different different conversations within a tool, and then based on the prompt or based on what you need, it kind of accesses that folder to get not that folder, but that flow. Because putting the information inside of the vector database is something that we should do only once, or every time we have a new document. So why? Because it's what do? We take all of the documents inside of here, and then are going to apply a text splitter. It's not by default. If we don't add one, it's going to add a default one. What does a text splitter do? It takes our document and it splits it into different chunks. So we can split our document by characters, by code, by HTML markdown, different kinds of splitting. And this is kind of like, there's a lot of strategy going into here when you have like large files and stuff like that. But for us, we just have like a dozen files. Shouldn't be anything crazy.
Okay.
So we connect this to the text splitter, and then we connect our document to the in-memory vector store.
Can I just ask a quick question? Because you said that once we have given the AI access to the instructions to the files, it only needs to do that once?
So it only needs to, so what are we doing in this flow? In this flow, we are creating like a vector database that's called in-memory vector store. We can change this with Pinecone or with whatever we want. Right now, we're using our computer. This is a vector database that stores numbers, not text. And why? Because this AI, the chatbot, is going to convert the text that we write to it into some vectors. And then it's going to look inside of this vector database for the numbers that are closer to this vector. And based on this, it is going to retrieve the chunks that have the most similarity with those vectors. So here we're going to make, I don't know how many chunks. We're going to see it right now. Let's save this. We're going to call it Gary Rag System.
Okay.
And then we're going to upload this inside of the vector database. So let's click on Upsert.
Okay.
And now we are using OpenAI embeddings, I think the third model, and we created 127 chunks. This is the first chunk. These are all the different chunks that we have created.
Wow.
Close. This should pretty much do it. And now I'm going to save it again, and I'm going to test it out like this.
Fascinating.
Give me a question.
Oh, code related, obviously, backtest related. So the obvious one would be draw a straight line on the chart, a horizontal line.
With no context?
You can say that the line itself, the start of the line is with regards to trade input or trade entry. And then the exit of the line would be trade exit, so, or the length of the line would be trade exit.
But it needs to create the code for this, right?
Yes. It'll be very interesting to see what it does, because I've just literally had an update this morning with regards to this. Oh, you might need to do a bit of change to your. Oh, it's gone in anyway.
No idea.
It might just.
Why it has no idea? Because it's not. What are we doing? We're just referencing the model is too strict, meaning that it's only looking for information inside of our database, and it's not making anything new. So let's make it a little bit more open. So in here, inside of the additional parameters, if we expand this, we can see, I want you to act as a document. I'm having conversation with your name is AI assistant using the provided contact. Answer the question best to your abilities using the resource. If there is nothing in the context relevant to the question at hand, just say, I'm not sure. So this is why it's saying, I'm not sure. If there's nothing in the context relevant to the question at hand. So it still didn't have any context on do we have some code examples?
Yeah, there are. If we go back to co-created code,
here we go. This one.
if we just give me 1 second, what I'll give you is an update because you may not have an update. 1 second. I'm just going to share it. I basically work in OneDrive, but OneDrive isn't very good at sharing. Let's just give you co-created. Lovely. Look at that this morning. These are this morning. So that's the one that's working. Yeah, let's give you a copy of this. So let's copy that. I'm just going to ping this into
chat. All right.
How do I do that in chat? Oh, I'll tell you what. Let me drop it into. If I drop it into Google Drive,
should also work. Yeah.
Yeah, coming into Google Drive. Pasted that. Yeah. 13:05:25. Let's just make sure that's syncing. There you go. That should be it. That should be updated. So if you go into co-created, one from the bottom, down, that's it. And then do sort by date, last modified. That's the one.
Okay.
Yep. Click on that. Yep. Download that. That's the latest file. That works, but there appears to be, so support tells me, a limitation to the way that we place graphics on the back test.
Did I download this?
So did it download? It's scanning for viruses. Oh yeah, it has at the top. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back here, put it inside of my folders. Is this one, right? Version 4.
Let's have a look.
Version 3.
It should be working. That's the one.
Working, yeah, okay. I'm just going to rename it to code example.
That's the one. Sure, yeah, I mean, change by whatever you need. It's fine by me.
And then what we have to do in Flowise, let's just try, save it, do again an upsert.
But hey.
So this is the new stuff we added. Let's close it, save it. And let's chat right now. Can you write me the code for a straight line?
Be interesting to see what it comes up with.
Use the code example file to write me the code for a straight line.
Maybe what we need to say to it is we need a straight line to replace the code that's principal. Oh, so it's gone for draw line. Interesting. So we can't use draw line on the back test. So I wonder where it's grabbed that from.
We can, let's see, additional parameters. No, let's do this, return source documents, and then let's ask it again.
So return source documents, what does that do?
It's going to tell us where it got the information from.
Oh, that's going to be handy.
So let's see, are you sure you can use drawline?
This is what I do with conventional AI models. I constantly ask it and say to it, where did you get this from? Validate. And then it often comes back and says, oh, error. Yeah, sorry, I got this from the wrong file. That's interesting to know. So return source documents. Can you draw a line using the code example?
It's not the best prompt, doesn't matter. We are using also a pretty... Why is it not telling me... Maybe I didn't save it. Let's try now.
Interesting.
What is the system?
wondering-
What is this? What is it called? Ah, here we go. This is the file that it used. So yeah.
Oh, can we click on that? Can we see that file?
Yeah, I'm trying to click on it, but I can't click on it. Let's see what is the file.
Because that'll be very interesting to find out where it's actually.
No, it keeps it cut. It keeps it cut. So I can't.
That's a shame.
So yeah, you can see, but you can just see a part of your folder that you're using. Now I'm sure that there's a better way of doing it. Let's see if we refresh here, and also let's just do a quick change. Instead of using the weakest model, let's use a thinking model. So let's use like 303 mini latest. Let's save this. And let's refresh here.
I wonder if this flow has all the requisite program language. I'm just going to make sure that you've actually got all the necessary. So I'm going to fire up VS Code. I'm going to take that out of there. Oh. Here we go. And just make sure. So that's 5 glossary examples version.
Maybe actually doing it in. So here is doing it a little bit differently, and it's using different files.
So what's it got here? So it's got, that's fine, because that's just, except it's, the example given doesn't use EMA, but that's interesting. It does use NDIF.
Okay, let's do something else. Step number 2. Let's create a assistant. So what is the issue with this? I think the issue with this, maybe with the data, because I'm not 100% sure how the data looks like, but I think we have to fine tune these instructions a little bit. So, so that's going to be our next step, but just kind of before proceeding to that, we're going to do something on ChatGPT. We're going to go where we get our API keys, and we're going to create an assistant. So it's the same thing as creating an assistant on...
Which I think is the route that I went down.
You created an assistant?
I believe I don't want to fire up my, I'm probably... No, because it'd be. I don't want to interfere, because I know that sometimes my internet can be a bit funny, so I tend not to overload. I think I looked into the AI assistant, which I thought would be useful. I think my idea was that the AI assistant would be able to refer back to the text files, the operation, the way that the code language is working. Processing. That was my thinking anyway. I'm just going to make sure that you have, because I was updating some more of the file here. So glossary examples.
So I'm going to create the vector. I'm going to create the vector database on OpenAI.
Okay, I'm just going to make sure pro back test.
Drag and add all the files that you gave me.
I think
easy peasy.
Yeah, you don't have all of the you don't have the examples there. That's what's gone wrong. Don't know why that's not in there. 1 second, I'm about to update you with another text. It's basically a Perl. I just use a Perl like interface so that when using visual code, it can just interface with whatever text I put into it, which makes it very quick when I update any code referencing. So if I copy that, let's give you an example. Yeah, because that needs to be that. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that nice and quickly. Glossary examples. I hope I haven't. Doesn't matter if I've doubled this up anyway. Let's just fire that up like that. Get rid of that lot. Now this. The good thing about these program files and using Perl text files is they are so small. So there's very little of your memory that's being, yeah, look at that. Perfect. Save that. Right, there's now in Pro Build, actually I'm going to take it out of there and put that into backtest, because it is principally backtest. Yeah, fantastic. I'll let you do that and then I'll...
Okay, I am should be
So
done
there's
here.
another file that you should upload in Pro Backtest code manuals.
Okay.
Where are you? Yeah. So yeah, if you just 1110, that's the one. Yep. No,
Great.
not that one. Where have you gone? No, it's Pro Builder. You want to go to Pro Backtest. Sorry. Pro Backtest manual. That's the one. Yep. Click on that. Mm-hmm. Oh, hang on a minute. Why is that not in there? I just saw it a second ago. It was in there. Why is it not Pro Build? It's not in Pro Builder. It's in Pro Backtest manuals. It should be in there. It's updated on mine. Why is it not?
Here we go. Is it this one?
Beautiful. There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a huge amount of
Some examples.
yeah, there's 4,500 lines of code of text in there, and it's just 128 kilobytes.
More than enough. So let's update this with that. So we go to our vector database. We add another file.
Oh, that's interesting. My mobile has now started sharing.
What is it called? Glossary examples?
It is yes. Go back to that. That should be it.
Okay.
Should be. I usually have my file explorer telling me the date modified.
Pro Builder. The objective of this thing is to write backtest code, right?
Yeah, only backtest code, because as I say, the foundation code Pro Builder, you need to put Pro Backtest at the top, by the way. You've got Pro Back at the very top. That's it. That needs to be Pro Backtest. And then you can probably get rid of... Actually, Pro Builder can stay in there, because I'm still trying to work out what parts we are allowed to make use of. So system instructions, they're going to have to be very explicit. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If the model is going through process and it comes up with an example, and we test it and we give it feedback and say that it's one of three things: it's correct, in which we tell it so, it's working but it's not doing what we explicitly ask, or no, the code has failed. Is there some sort of a what I call a reinforcement, some sort of a learning process to which we can say to the AI model, this code is good, this code is okay, but needs amending?
In the same conversation, yes, not in future conversations. We can put it inside of the instructions, meaning that at the end of every code generation, generate me a or ask me if what is the quality of this. If the quality is good, accept it. If the quality is weak, ask me these follow-up questions. If the quality is not good, ask me how I should fix it, something like that. But
right, okay.
we can't have it kind of remember that for the next time. ChatGPT can do it with memory, but I wouldn't really advise using it for something like as delicate as.
Really interesting. Okay. Fascinating.
So let's try improving this a little bit.
So this is in the assistant. Okay.
Well, let's try it already like this. I need to draw a straight line.
Oh, retrieval. So it's looking at previous information.
It's looking at our documents.
Oh, I thought of a way in which we could. Yeah, if it's doing that, then we can use that retrieval with updated code to say that this code has been validated.
But it's wrong, right? It's not draw line.
No, but what I'm saying is that if when it goes back and does the retrieval, if it went back and was retrieving
wrong information, you see. But it's getting this from somewhere.
I don't know where, because there's no draw line on there. We can't use draw line with backtest. We can't use def param either. That's an instruction placed at the top. We can't use last. Yeah, this is all to do with what's called pro ordering, where we have automated systems. So it's obviously what it's done is it's gone off and it's got access to Pro Builder, which is the foundation language.
We're going to try taking a quick shortcut. I need to create a system instructions for building backtest code.
GenSpark, what's that?
It's a tool that uses different agents to do things quickly. It's pretty cool, actually. It does slides, analysis, images. I use it quite often for different things. I need to create the system instructions for building a.
Well, you need to be on there.
For what is it called? Backtest?
Well, you put the full name in. So first of all, it's called Pro Real Time. It's all one word. Yep, that's it. And then after a gap, and then you would have Pro Backtest, which is all one word, and that's the code. Pro Backtest is the code itself. I tell you what would be interesting here, Gregor, is if we stripped out every part of the code language and only gave it the explicit language for the back test.
I think we should take away the pro real-time language out of it and just leave.
Well, no, well, pro real-time is the platform, but what we need to strip out, and you are right, we need to strip out pro builder. That's the bit.
Yeah, that's what is causing the issue. So maybe we can do that also on the fly. Let me just trigger this in case instructional building backtest.
I'm going to start stripping that out of the folders now for you, so that when you look at the folders, you're only going to have. I'm going to make sure that anything pro builder you don't need. Okay, so
or
what I'll do.
You can just tell me right here which ones of these files.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. What I have done in the past is, because I know that some of the Pro Builder code is used by Pro Backtest, I'm going to strip every part of Pro Builder out.
But
And
wait,
then
maybe that shouldn't be necessary. Where are the rules that say what can be used in pro backtest? Because
now that's where I am with support. I'm asking them for an explicit list,
okay, there is no such
which
thing.
is not forthcoming at the moment. Although I've been given some indication, in inverted commas, to say that it seems that graphical is the main thing that can be utilized from Pro Builder into Pro Backtest. So that's why I'm thinking if I strip everything else out and make sure that the only thing you have is Pro Backtest and nothing but, I think that would make a nice simplification. The code model, the AI model itself would have less to go on and therefore more likely to produce accurate outcomes. And then as we learn by testing on the platform, we can then update the model and say, well, actually, this code is valid.
I mean, having the right data and the right code that with the right rules, that would make it much better.
I agree.
My thought is, would it be possible to kind of even with like a mixture of pro, real-time pro and pro backtest code to understand what is the right code? And
Yeah, I mean, you are right. It's Pro Builder, and then it's think of the platform. The whole platform is called Pro Real Time.
Okay.
And then the foundation code is Pro Builder. Bolted on top of that is Pro Backtest, Pro Screener, Pro Order. But I think what would be more useful if everything is stripped out and all that's left is the bare bones of Pro Backtest, and then as I go through the process of, and I'm probably going to use an AI agent to do this actually, because I've found that there are in Flowise there is a method to screen to scrape data from particular websites.
Yes, what kind of data do you want to scrape?
There we are. So what we would do then is we would scrape everything and anything that has the word, and we would put explicit words which would relate to backtest. And then we can pick and choose anything that comes up, and then upload our file under the file that is only backtest related information, backtest related data coding. And what we're doing then is we're then building up the repository of the language, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. I don't know how accurate this approach would be. What websites are you looking to scrape?
It's prorealtime.com. That's the one. .com. That's it. I'm not sure what language that came up in.
Oh, I know this.
Right.
I know this.
Oh, there you go then.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think somewhere around here they should be like a documentation, something about documentation maybe.
I can ping you links because I've got all the links already pre-saved. Who is that? That's me. Let me just go grab that. I can give you the library. I've got everything linked here, so I can literally copy and paste and give you the library. This is the library. Copy that. How do I share this with you? Is there a quick way on the chat we have? In the drive?
On the chat is also fine, yeah.
How could I do that via the chat?
Via the chat, you just put it inside of the chat. I think there should be, is it a link?
I'm looking. What's that? Is presenting.
Are you sharing a link?
I can do it anyway. I'm just looking to find out how I thought there might be a text box in which I could text you. Let's just put it into a, let's just create another, let's just call this Pro Real Time Links. And then what I'll do is I'll just do a nice simple notepad. Excuse me.
Are you trading shares, indexes, other things?
So what I do is I have an algorithm,
Yeah.
a Python algorithm. All I need from Pro Realtime, the platform itself, is I just need the best parameters. The algorithm will look at, it currently looks at 7 indicators. And then what it does is it does an assessment, and then it gives me what I call green or red lights. And then we get a traffic light system, which basically, if I get 7 green lights, then the system is saying that based on your performance output of said indicators, it's giving me an indication to enter. Now I will go off and do some fundamentals on that as well, because I've got fundamentals set up on a Python code, pretty much like a scraper. I put in the symbol and it will come back and tell me what this particular symbol is doing with regards to fundamentals. And then I have, exactly that. That's all the PDF stuff that we've been looking at. And then what I have then is I don't have to get myself emotionally involved. I've got my traffic light system. I've gone through my fundamentals and then I enter. And it's the same for the exit. The Python code itself will then give me it will then give me, the 7 green lights will start changing to 6 and 1, 5 and 2. And when I get to 5 and 2, the algorithm will start to weigh up the pros and cons based on the indicator in use, because it has access to the indicators basically. And then it will then say, look, based on this, this is exit. And it just takes any of my emotional involvement is instantly removed because I have to follow the light system. So I'm just going to literally create this file for you.
I think it might be actually, let me just try something like this. So instead of using this folder and file, we're just going to use a PDF document.
You could do, the only thing with that is that the PDF document is making use of Pro Builder. So it is going to pick up on all of that same coding information and examples of the fundamental code.
But well, so if I search for draw line here,
see Pro Backtest and then Pro Order. Pro Backtest in that guide is only about 11 pages.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I will. No, that's the whole. That's the whole thing. But if you go to the front, and then scroll down, and then look at the index, you'll keep going, down. Hold on, go back up, go back up, go back up, go back up, a little bit more, and stop. So there's your Pro Back. So from page 31 to walk forward, you can use in the back test. So 31 to 43, that's it. So I've actually got that cut out so that the I've already done that. I've already saved that part of the PDF to a PDF that it is only explicitly looking at that part. I'll tell you what, I am going to share with you. Let me just set this up. This is Pro Real Time. What are we calling this? This is links. Now that's that one. Let's put some more in there for you. And then you've got all the, I'll tell you what you are going to be looking for, which you're going to find most useful, is this one, library indicators. Yeah, let's ping that over to you. Save that. Right, that should be, do a F5 on that. Right, if you check your folder,
Yeah.
you should find that you've now got another folder added to the whole of the file share with you. So if you go back to you, yep, go back one more. That's it. You should have links, pro real-time links.
Yeah.
Oh, it hasn't updated yet. Give it a sec.
Okay.
Or yeah, I've F5'd it a few times, so it might just be going through the cloud as we speak. It has uploaded this end anyway. Yeah, uploaded 4 minutes ago. Yeah, 4 minutes ago. So that should come through.
Maybe they need to be shared, but yeah, they should.
No, it is, because all of that folder, anything in Grigol Marek file share is yours automatic. I've shared the whole folder with you, so it will come through. It's just a bit slow.
Okay. Either way, I think the best approach would be to clean out the information that is not required. I think you've done a good job at that already. I think removing a little bit more might be helpful. And then I think it will be about the instructions. So writing these...
The system instructions?
Yeah, writing the system instructions. But getting an AI to kind of get it to work. I would use it in OpenAI to kind of test out the system instructions in a quick way. But if you want to put together a basic set of instructions and clean the documentation, then we can jump on a call again and we can pick up from there.
I mean, that's not going to take too long at all, because, as I say, I can easily strip out, and most of it already is. But I think now I can then, I'll share everything with you, but I'm going to make explicit the code that we are going to use, so everything that's going to be in the pro back test folders is all that we need.
Okay.
Let's do that. And what I'll do also is any code that does work but might give a slightly iffy or squiffy output, but it works, I'll also share those. So I'll go through those on the platform and make sure you've got those updated. So everything you're going to see that says flow backtest, we know that's strictly for the pro backtest only.
Let's try just one more thing out of the box. Can you write for pro backtest?
Oops. Just need to add the P.
Pro back test a
code
to draw me a straight line.
I guarantee you it's going to use def param, and it will use draw.
No.
Oh, hang on. That's not.
that's not.
I'll tell you what you need to do. Go back and edit that. Go back and edit. Yep. And then at the top, just drop a line down or under, whichever.
Yeah.
Just do a return. Put pro real time. That's it. You just need a space after using. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it needs a differentiator. Otherwise, it gets confused. Happy to write this. Yeah, def param. So we can't use those. So what it's done is it's gone off to Pro Builder, which of course it's been uploaded with. So it would work in some respects, because that would work in the forward processes, i.e. Pro Order, using Pro Builder or the Pro Builder language. So you won't be able to differentiate this, because no matter how much I've tried to, how many attempts I've made with this, it just doesn't get it. See what it should do, go back up for the line variable, yep, and then come back down again, a bit lower, slowly for me, keep going, end if is good, yep, define line bar. So yeah, line start bar, you can't use that on the back test.
Okay. All right, so this is wrong. So I think it's more inside of the instructions, inside of the instructions, meaning that it should know what it can use and what it can't use. So if there's like
Explicitly.
a
Yeah.
glossary of the things that it can use for pro backtest, that would be ideal.
Agree.
Do you have one of those?
Do I have? I mean, yeah, we've shared you the co-created code. That's explicitly using pro backtest.
Okay, perfect. So we can use, all right. We can use that explicitly, that document. But is that document exhaustive? Meaning, is everything that
No.
is no?
No.
Okay.
No, and that's where I am at the moment. I could probably, yeah, I can't see that being too much of an effort. I could likely strip out, even in the manuals, everything that is defined to the backtest code that I know of. I could put that into the requisite files and folders.
Yeah, that would be a lot of help. And then in the instructions, we're gonna say to generate code using the language from from Pro Real Time, but specific to backtesting using only the functions and information contained in this knowledge file. So with that in the
Correct.
instructions, I think we might be able to make some progress.
Sounds good to me.
If that is not the case, then we can structure it as an agent, meaning one guy creates the code, the other guy verifies based on a set of rules and instructions and documents if the code matches and is relevant to kind of like backtesting examples. And then once it does it, we can pass it to like the manager who can perform other checks or just give us the code.
Now that could you just say that? Now that is pretty much what I've been drawn in terms of diagrams. I take lots of notes and stuff. That's pretty much what I've been working out in my head. An AI agent that has all the rules and examples, and then the AI model, I'll call it, interacts with that, asking it, look, I've been asked this. Can you create said code? It's the validation part that I didn't understand how that would be done, but I think you explained it rather well there.
So it will be done. It will be done with the rules that are either going to be in the documents or in the instructions of this other agent. So one agent is going to create the code like it did right now. It's probably going to be wrong. This wrong code is going to be passed to the other agent, and the sole purpose of the other agent is going to be follow certain rules and instructions and use documents for reference if required. And its sole purpose is going to be to fix the code that has been created by the first agent.
Got it. That sounds impressive. I mean, that's almost like because my thinking then is that as we become the user, I become more proficient in the code, and obviously the platform feedback is, yep, the code is doing what I want it to do. I can validate that. And then we feed back to that model, that AI model, with the code that explicitly works. Then we're in business, because then what we're doing is we only have a database or an AI that's accessing a database with the code that is confirmed. And this is how it works. And we can put examples in there.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Wow. Okay. Okay. That sounds impressive.
Let's put the clean up the documentation. Once you have the documentation ready, set up a little basic prompt and some rules like how it should fix the code, what documents should it use to fix the code, what are the rules for writing backtest code in Pro Builder, what are some of the things it should not consider, what documents should it refer. So once you write this is going to take you, this is not going to be easy. It's going to take you half an hour to write this instruction. thing. But the better this instruction thing, the better the whole thing is going to work. Once you have that, if you want, reach out to me, and then we can see the next steps if you need any help setting this up.
I think that's going to be particularly that the integration of another AI model. I think you called it the manager.
Supervisor, manager. Well, maybe it's not even required. Maybe you can just have a few workers. One guy does the initial code. The other guy checks it, and that's pretty much it. Maybe you can add a supervisor that is deciding who does what, and if the work done is reflects certain standards, but maybe it's not required. So yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, that's a completely different way of looking at things. Well, I can easily. I mean, I would really love to see this.
I have no idea if it will work. Huh? This is just kind of like potentially something.
An experiment.
An experiment, something that came to my mind that potentially could work. Maybe before even going there, I think with the cleaned up documents and with the good instructions, we might be even able to make it work like a RAG system, like either an assistant like this, or just like a RAG system like here. But we need that instruction, and we need to get rid of those documents that reference
Yes, we do.
Real-Time Pro, because I think the Real-Time Pro knowledge has been loaded already in the model, but not contextualized to backtesting. So I think we just need the backtesting
Correct.
part.
I would be. What's also curious in my head here, Gregor, is what GenSpark AI. What that would do if we put that request into GenSpark to say what we want to do with regards to using Flowise.
I mean, if you give your data to ChatGPT and you give it and you use model 0.3, so you use 0.3, which is a reasoning model, and you ask like, hey, can you predict Solana price for tomorrow? Now
Interesting.
check the current price, do a market research, do a Monte Carlo simulation, do a search on macro factors and predict the price. So in theory, it should activate different agents that are gonna do different things in theory, yeah? Because this is like a new feature. They enable it, disable it. Nobody really knows how it works, but like what are they doing now in ChatGPT is they're giving you agents in the background, meaning you ask it different things and those agents perform the different tasks already kind of autonomously. You do it to do a web search, it's going to activate the search agent that's going to do the web search. You ask it to do a Monte Carlo simulation, it's going to activate another agent that's going to do a Monte Carlo simulation. So first one agent is going to work. They're going to have a supervisor that's, okay, so you see it's working actually. So we have one agent searching the web, collecting the information. Another one is going to do the market
Yahoo
research.
charts.
All of that is going to be processed, and really there is really no limit to what you can kind of do. The more agents that they add in their backend that can do different things, the more capabilities you have. The only thing that is missing here is the capability to interact with your computer. So once you download this framework on your own computer and you use like browser use, you can just basically put in queries like this, and it will activate your browser. It will do things. It will run things like a tool like Pro Real Time. So if you know kind of all the different steps that Pro Real Time is doing, you would maybe just upload the tables that you require that maybe might not be accessible via links or something like that, and
I tell you what would be really fascinating is that a lot of Python coding work I did last year with regards to data scraping and again fundamental analysis is that I've seen in Flowise that there's actually ways and means, and you're pretty much showing that using this chat model, that I could quite simply run a particular flow to go off and get information that I detail. I make it very clear based on a certain symbol. And that's pretty much what my code was doing. And I'm now seeing that Flowise, once the model has been set up, would enable me to exactly just like this. Now, this is how, this is interesting. This is what my Python code will do in a slightly different aspect, a different output. But you are seeing what my, this is uncanny. This is what my Python code was doing.
Yeah, it was just doing it, back testing it, right?
Well, it was actually grabbing fundamentals. So one of the smart things I did was I got the Python code to go off and connect with perhaps between 7 and 10 people I thought were good advisories within the trading industry, just to get their hearsay. So I put the symbol in, and then it would come back and say that, yeah, these people are talking about, and this is their latest comments and so on.
Okay.
And
So like hype or like kind of tweets.
Tweets, hype, anything that just gives me an indication that there's what are they saying? What's the beat of the drum, so to speak? It's not something you can take as verbatim. This is the everything, but it just gives you an insight into what people are doing, because what moves the markets is people.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from the fact that we're now into these massively augmented algorithms, but still these are code operated, so people are still involved. And again, yeah, just seeing this is fascinating, because this is exactly what I would love Flowise to do, to have these different models that I then just click the button. And it can go off and tell me and give me all the feedback I want. So, and as you say, with a little bit of integration.
So now that comes inside of the instructions that you give it. Why? Because the AI has the ability to run code, has the ability to do search, has the ability to do all kinds of different things. So as long as you write a good instruction and you set it up in Flowise, in ChatGPT, in OpenAI, in Flowise, you have much more capabilities, much more flexibility and stuff like that. In ChatGPT, this is still a little bit unknown. They're still a little bit discovering and kind of not making it still very kind of noble to people. Like I wasn't really sure that like there were different AI agents behind the 03 that kind of were triggered one after another, and they did different things and so forth. So you should keep that in mind. Also, depending on what kind of model is being used. If we're using a model like, for example, like 4.0, then there is none of that. You just put some text, and the model just returns you some output. So
fascinating.
Yeah. I don't know. Are you willing to bet some money on Solana for tomorrow?
I don't know, because I haven't done any analysis on it at the moment. I'm still. I've even switched off my Bloomberg terminal, because I've just got. I've just had to focus on getting this back test that it for some reason it's become one of those itches that you have to scratch.
I get it.
So my principal focus right now is to get the back test platform up and running. And then once I've done my validation and I know that the numbers coming back are pretty decent numbers with regards to performance output, then I start looking at Solanas and the like, and then I can start filling up my book with all my different leads that I get, plug myself back into the Bloomberg terminal, and get back into this.
Man, the instructions, I think that's where you have to spend time right now. So remember what we've discussed. So think
All
about,
written down.
yeah, think about the rules and the constraints and context for the backtesting for Pro real time. And once you have those done, I think that's going to be a major